Hi guys, and welcome back to Festival of the Unexplained. We've had an amazing weekend so far, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for donating so far to CALM, which is the campaign against living miserably. Now, this charity is a fantastic charity. They help all people with all manners of mental health issues, but more predominantly, they help a lot of males between the ages of 30 and 45 with their suicidal thoughts. So every single amount of money that we raise is going directly to CALM. So if you can, please carry on donating for us. And tonight we have a fantastic lineup of guests for you, and these guys do not need any introductions. We absolutely love speaking to them. They are, I want to call them the Three Stooges, but that's not a derogatory term, but they are the most hilarious bunch of guys that I've ever come across. And these are Mike Gongalves and Chris and Brandon Smith from the Wraith Chasers. And I'm just going to bring in Karen because I know she's got the giggle fits at the moment.
Me? Giggles? I don't know what you're saying. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
It's great. But yeah, it's great to have Mike on screen. And it's great to have Chris. And Karen, you're going to have to add Brandon because I can't get down to the bottom of my screen. Hey.
There we go. Hi.
Just want to say thank you for joining us this evening.
It's our pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It's an honor to be on here.
I love the flag in the background, Chris.
Do I have a flag back here? Funny, how did
I wonder what that's for.
Like I said, I just keep it hanging around. Ever since we got invited, I haven't cleaned up. So
Bless it. So, what have you guys been up to? Because obviously you've been locked down too, but I know you've been doing some events, and you've got an event this weekend.
Yeah, we've I think since last spring, summer, when everything hit hard. Since then, we've only had one cancellation, and that was last weekend. So we've been very lucky, very blessed that we kept things moving, low capacity, and so we kept it as safe as possible and everything. But we kept trucking along. Last weekend was the only one that's got canceled on us, and it was actually semi-local for us, only a few hours away in Knoxville. But it's a historic theater, and they have, I think, a little bit more strict guidelines in the city than other places. But this week we head to Texas, and we're just full on from there on out until September.
yeah.
Till September. Why? What's happening in September?
I don't know. A couple of crazy frauds, a couple mobs that we have. Can you say on live?
Well, we have two like I speak now. It depends on what context you're using it. Now, if you're being derogatory, then no. But we're past the watershed, I think. So I think we might be all right.
But if you're talking about turning the knob.
Oh.
Well, it really depends on what you mean by turning, right?
Oh, get out.
No, I see. Now you took it in a bad way.
Who did?
I think.
I apologize ahead of time, but is bollocks a bad word?
Oh, Brandon, bless your heart.
I apologize.
Is that a bad
I apologize.
This is why I kind of nicknamed you guys the Three Stooges, because you've got the two crazies, and Brandon is just the gentleman of the group, and apologizes for the lowering of the tone.
Yeah.
It's it's great, and we're thankful that you guys are coming over in September to spend the weekend with us at Bosworth 2021, which is going to be an absolute scream. So I'm so glad that you're coming over.
Yeah, we've always, anytime we're doing any type of Q&A or a questionnaire, people always ask, "What's your bucket list location?" It's always the UK. We've always wanted to get over there across the pond. You guys got some of the oldest haunted stuff. I mean, we were talking just a little bit earlier about the place we're staying and how it's from the 1400s. And I was telling you, we haven't even touched anything that old over here. So it's going to be a blast. I can't wait.
It's It is going to be great.
Yeah, most definitely. And to spare, you'll have to pull up with me all weekend. I do apologize now.
Well, I think we've all realized we're going to get along just fine.
For sure.
Jo would be locking me away half the weekend. She'd be like, Karen, that's enough now. Go to your room.
I think you've just got to put out the dance skills, you know, the dance moves at the Saturday shindig and see how everything like ties in there. Because it's great having, you know, it's great having, you know, the Q&As and the work in and the putting the hours in. But everybody needs that kind of let down of their head, don't they? And we've got an awesome band who are coming along to play some fantastic tunes, which, it's called A Happy Accident, aren't they, Karen?
Yeah, they do a lot of festivals. I've seen them 2 or 3 times now, and they're just really good. And I was like, Jo, I've seen them live. We've got to book these guys. So yeah, we've got a live band and we've got a DJ. So you got to get those moves.
We'll practice up in the room.
The YMCA usually was that.
So do you guys like? So you guys like dance? Have different dances than us? I have so many questions.
Oh, Brandon, they have one dance.
Dance. I don't think you can call it that. Believe me.
It's the teacup, right?
The teacup. We have the foxtrot and we have the waltz.
You know about those. Hey, you know, this brings to mind, sorry to, you know, when you talk about dancing, but we went on a little cruise, you know, Mike, Brandon, and I, and we were up on the top deck having a good time. It was, I don't know what nationality they were from, but it wasn't American. Not saying anything bad about their skills, but they were singing Thriller. And every time they would get to the chorus, it was, and this is Thriller. Me and Mike were on the deck, we're all laughing our ass off, dancing to Thriller.
And you know you're the drunk idiots when it's like it's crowded, but nobody's really dancing, and except for the guys that are going. You know, like you can tell the drunker somebody gets, because if they're not, they're this. The drunker they get, the tighter in they get. Then all of a sudden it's. You know, everything's real in, except you know you're holding that drink tight.
It's the imaginary crowd. It's the imaginary crowd dance.
Yeah, it's like ooh,
It's so crowded in here.
you're on everybody. By the end of the night, it's all.
I know. We just take all the room, don't we, Jo?
Think for yourself. I don't like dancing. I'm not a dancer.
Yeah, but I make a dance. I'm that horrible person that drags everybody on the dance floor, and then after about half an hour, buggers off and just leaves them there.
You walk off, yeah.
You know, hey, you don't have to be a dancer.
I'm that person. We went to an event, and I was like, we had a load of the guys with us, and none of them dance, do they? And I was like, no, I'm not having this. If I'm dancing, you're dancing. So literally individually, one by one, I made them all dance, and then left them. To be warned.
Well, I mean, you know,
I think it was Strictly Come Dancing as well at some point, wasn't it? Or Dancing with the Stars, as you guys call it.
Yeah,
there was a few episodes of that going around as well.
Yeah, she's yeah, but Jo can sing too. I'm going to put this out there now, so then everyone knows. Ready? Because I'm going to try and force her to sing with the band. Just putting that out there because it's public now, so you know. Just saying. But she's an amazing singer.
Thank you.
No doubt. You know, Mike shreds on the guitar. He's traveled the world, you know, playing some guitar. So maybe we can talk him to getting on stage.
He has, hasn't he? Yeah. That'd be amazing.
Oh, wow. Right, I'm booking the band for an extra hour. I'm going to tell them they got to come early, just so you can do some jamming with them before they start.
I'd be like, come on, Kathleen, let's do this. Let's show these people how it's done.
And then me and Brandon we can take care of the cowbell.
Yeah, I'm good at that. Yeah.
I thought you'd be backing dancers.
We can do that. We can dance in cowbell.
Yeah, we can kind of play. Gotta do it in sync, though, man.
Oh my goodness!
You gotta do it in sync. See, you're on it.
But you guys, obviously, the paranormal for you guys is all it's a love, isn't it? For you guys, you starred in Ghost Asylum, you starred in Haunted Towns. You know, what are your favorite memories from both those shows?
Oh man,
Pranking Mike.
that's a good memory. Scaring the hell out of Mike when we did Haunted Towns. I remember him being so excited to finally get off of the surveillance system. He's like, I get to investigate, for the first time on screen. And like, yeah, bro, come on. And, he gets in the bathroom and he's getting into it, doing his thing. And then Doogie scares the living hell out of him. And all you get is maniacal laughter throughout the whole set. And I was in another room, but all I could do was hear it. But I was still laughing my butt off. But, there's so many great places. Mansfield Reformatory. I mean, that one, stands out for me. It was so cold in there that you couldn't even hardly breathe. But there was something in there in the cell with me when I had to go into solitary. That kind of still gives me nightmares. But also, season 1, we did so many unknown places that nobody had ever done before. And, what were some of those places? St.
Vincent's.
St. Vincent's Mental Home, and that was in Oklahoma. That place was super creepy, and it was almost falling down. I mean, it was dilapidated. I think Brandon got tagged in the head with some rebar.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that was fun.
But that was like kind of, I go back to that season, and the locations for me there, that was, the coolest because they're the ones that nobody knew about. And we were kind of, we didn't know anything about them either. And it seems like that's some of the most haunted places that we ever visited was places that had never been tapped before. So those are all good memories for me.
Well, and something else too, Chris, you were talking about St. Vincent's. That's also one of the places we caught the best evidence. Actually, and I was the one who caught it by accident. But Chris, maybe you can tell it a lot better than I can. You have a funny way of telling the whole scenario. How I caught that Aquaman.
We caught this like transparent man, and he's like, he walks in the hall, stops and looks, and then drags like a body through the wall. Is what it looked like anyway. No way we could possibly explain it. He had a full spectrum camera, but if you give Brandon a camera without a tripod, you're going to get a lot of asses. You're going to get the floor. I mean, he's not just all over the place. So I think he tricked the ghost into the ghost was probably like trying to get around him, like he caught him as he was going by in the hallway. And it was one of the best pieces of visual evidence, video, like actual movement that we've gotten. And it was, that floored me.
Well, and it kind of makes me think, a lot of evidence it seems like we catch is like a ghost kind of peeking around a corner or something. And it makes me wonder, what if, the way to catch more visual evidence is kind of using that tricky way. Like I'm looking down the hallway with my eyes this way and my camera's facing that way. So,
oh yeah, it's a tactic.
Yeah. In Hawaii, when Mike and I investigated the Palace Theater in Hawaii, that place was. What is it about theaters? It's like every theater I've ever been to has been super haunted. But Mike, I know you remember up there in the projection room.
Yeah, where it's like I thought where it grabbed my flashlight. Well, I thought it was my flashlight. Maybe it was my shirt. That part.
Yeah,
they were talking about. Yeah, I can't remember what they told us. What the story is, something back behind that machine or something in that back corner, whatever it was. But it was like, I'm not a field guy, but it was just something eerie feeling about up there. I think maybe all the stories they told us at the time embedded in, but when we started walking out, and as many times as we've done this, it's like I can count on one hand how many times I thought something touched me, possibly touched me. But that was like something grabbed, like, I'm not going to say grab my ass, but like the back of my shirt, but I had my flashlight in my back pocket. And I mean, enough to where it stopped. And I was like, I said, you need my flashlight. I thought he was behind me going like, ooh, I need a flashlight. And he's like, no, I didn't touch you. And so that kind of was like, that was just a solid, like a person grabbing the back of your shirt. I mean, that's freaky when something like that happened, or the time it happened to me. Where I think I even said it there. Let's get the hell out of here. It's like,
no. And then we went downstairs to the basement of the theater, and that thing rushed us, that dark shadow thing, and we kept hearing growls and all types of scurrying and stuff. I mean, I will say it all kind of starts running together when you go to so many places, but those, little experiences kind of stand out every now and then. It's like, I get that question all the time, what's some of the memorable experiences you've had doing this? And it's always a different answer because something just pops in my head that I remember. and then I'll just, something will just kind of throw up in my head like, hey, remember this?
And doing it a lot. I mean, I think all of us really, I think we've done more outside of the shows than on the shows, if you count them up, because every weekend we're somewhere, and it's like some of the most memorable experiences or the top memorable experiences sometimes aren't even paranormal, because all of us just love the journey of it. We love the car rides. We love whether it's a flight, well, not now, but car rides, and just to travel to the location, whether you're sleeping at the location or a hotel, and you're eating in a fancy restaurant or a little dive, and it's like I'm sleeping in a bed in comfort or on the floor. It's like there's so many different, we get so many different angles of travel. Everybody thinks, oh, you're on TV, you're staying at the Hilton. And it's like, no, we stay at Roach Motels too, so it's like when you have so much, there's so many experiences outside of the paranormal for getting to do what we do. And it's like a lot of those stand out. Maybe in a moment, it seems like a garbage situation or a rubbish situation. But then afterwards, it's like, it became a memory that it's like, remember that time 4 years ago when this happened and that happened? And it's like, at the time, you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. But later on, it's like you laugh about it. And it's one of those things that, because like Chris said, sometimes the places run into each other. And it's like, where was that at? Was that at that place? Was that at that hospital? And it's like some of those run into each other. But the whole journey is a big experience. They create the memories too.
I think you always remember though, don't you, the bad places where you're so cold and the doors and the roofs are falling in and everything like that, because obviously you remember your surroundings, don't you? Because I don't know about you guys, but when I go into somewhere like that, I'm always looking for the nearest door to see, if anything happens, I'm straight out of there.
Oh, we don't always do that.
Always professional, Joe.
I've got no CD about it. It's like I have these, like, I don't know, these anxieties over like dilapidated buildings falling down around me, and I have dreams about it all the time. And the first thing I do, I walk into somewhere and I'm like, the door's there, that's okay, I can retrace my steps, I'm all right.
We look for thin walls.
Yeah, like what is it you say, Mike? Like if something moves or levitates, you'll make a Mike-sized hole in the wall.
We don't make an escape route, but I think there's been times where we're like, if something happens down here, we're screwed because there ain't no way out, or if your flashlight goes out, like say OSPH, that like mechanics room down in a basement, there's no way you'd find your way out unless you've been in there a million times and you blueprint, but it's like there's no way. And it's like, so if your lights go out in some of these places, you're screwed.
Yeah, like I bring to mind, I was in Essex County, New Jersey, and this is when I was doing Ghost Hunters Academy, and we were there investigating, and there were these tunnels, and this was like, the second television show I had ever filmed in my life, so I didn't really know how everything worked. And I was down there in the tunnels, and it was lunchtime. But down in those tunnels, it's so dark, and there's so many of them, and they just kind of wind. It's like a big maze. And I thought to myself, I'm like, all right, I'm going to kind of let everybody, shimmy on down and go to lunch, and I'm going to hang out by myself and do a little investigating. And all I had was a flashlight. And, I about maybe, 10, 15 minutes in to lunchtime, everybody's gone, and I'm in there in the dark, and my flashlight goes dead. And I'm trying to find my way back to this little like ladder looking stairway to get out of the tunnels, to get up to some light with my hands. And I can tell you my heartbeat was crazy. Like I could feel it in my throat. I was, so afraid. And I didn't even really experience that much down there, maybe a few sounds, but just the thought of not having a light and being down there in the dark in this old abandoned asylum in these tunnels by myself was just terrifying.
So I want to go to, we've got an asylum that's like everybody wants to do kind of place. I've been outside, but I've not actually been in it. And I was hoping to go this year, but who knows whether that'll happen or not now. But we've got places like that. When we got like Drakelow, it's literally, there's no electricity, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no 4G, not even 3G, not even 2G, let alone anything else. It's completely pitch black. There's no electricity. As soon as you walk in, that's it. It's pitch black. There's nothing. So But me being me, because we've been so many times now, I just wander around without a torch, and I'm really bad for it. I'll just wander off. There's like 3.5 miles of tunnels.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
yeah,
we'll have to handcuff you and Brandon together then.
They'll really be lost then.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do that.
but yeah, now that's one place that's not far from us here. But yeah, I can walk around there and I know where I'm going and I know how to get myself back. And I'm constantly being complained at for like not using my torch. You got all these torches and you don't even use one. I'm like, but I know where I'm going. It's fine. Like, how do you know? I'm like, I don't know. I just know.
I don't know. I just know. I like it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how I know. I just know. I just wander. Are you like that, Brandon? Are you a bit of a wanderer?
Yeah, I've been known to do that.
It's like, yes.
Like in Hawaii. They tell you about.
In Hawaii, like he was at the location at the Cocoa Palms. Everybody packed up. We're gone, and all of a sudden, over the radio, "Where's Brandon?" Nobody like had him. We're like, "All right, let's go back." And they had to go back and get him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you guys are really going to have to watch me over there because, like I said, it's like total dream to. It's like one of my greatest dreams to be over there, and I'm going to want to see everything and do everything. And
see, that's me. That's why I just like. That's why I love to wander because I'll see something. You'll be in a group, and I'll see something, and I'll be like, I just walk off, and I come back like, oh, I turn around like, oh, where's the group gone? Are you like that?
oh,
I don't think
I would definitely be like that.
Wandered off. That's what it is.
I'll tell you this. We have a tracking device on Brandon. Cell phone. Like, there have been many. I check it all the time. Last night we were gonna go to the gym. I'm about to walk out of the door to see if he's got there yet, and he's still at the house. So I call him. I'm like, "Are we doing?" Because a walkie doesn't help. You give Brandon a walkie, he'll just turn it all the way down and put it in his pocket.
Yeah, actually, I did do that. Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, I did do that. We don't even take ours. We've had them for like 4 years, so I don't think we've ever taken them. I think we took them out of the house probably twice. We never actually took them out of the box. I don't even know where they are now. We don't even bother using them.
Right.
But that's because I'm like you, but I just walk off and just don't think to tell anybody that I'm going anywhere. I just kind of see something or I'm intrigued by something, so I have to go and explore it and just I don't think about the consequences or about anybody else thinking they might need to know where I am. That's all, So I can't say anything. I'm exactly the same in that respect.
Well, I mean, there's just so much over there that intrigues me, the history and everything, especially castles and like I haven't even experienced the history you guys have yet, so that's going to be tough for me.
It is a very rich country, both Wales and England and Scotland for that matter.
Yeah,
very rich in regal history, but also from the Scandinavian and the Viking style as well. So York, which is probably one of the oldest cities in the UK, which is, famous for its cobbled streets and its small higgledy-piggledy houses. And it's absolutely beautiful. And we are quite lucky to live here. We're very spoiled with all the history and all the hauntings that we get to experience.
Yeah. There's plenty places to go, plenty to do, isn't there? There's loads. I haven't even been to Scotland and done Scotland yet, and I'm like 39 this year, and I haven't managed to get to Scotland yet, which sounds ridiculous. I've been down south. I've been to Wales. I want to go over to Ireland. I've not made it over to Ireland yet either. I've been to. Yeah, you have. I've been to. See, Scotland was another thing I wanted to do this year, but yet again, whether that happened or not, I don't know yet.
That's not far from you, right? You can kind of.
Scotland, Edinburgh, which is probably around about a 4-hour trip for me, and probably a 5.5-hour trip for Karen. And then London is about 3 hours from me, probably an hour and a half for Karen. It's everywhere is accessible. Wales is 2 hours. It's everywhere. We're just so smack bang.
Really lucky.
We are very, very lucky.
Well, while I'm thinking about it, are you guys familiar with Redgrave? Is that a familiar? It's in Suffolk, I think.
Redgrave.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the place in Suffolk?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm
because,
not familiar with it.
Because I
No.
think Chris and I's ancestors from Redgrave. Like we actually have like an ancestor from there, so I
Really?
think it'd be cool to go by there and kind of visit that area.
I'll tell
That's
you,
cool.
also it cool place that I think would be awesome to visit is the Guinness factory.
That's amazing.
I've heard a lot of really cool things because that place has is it a 9,000-year lease or something? Isn't it something crazy like that?
Yeah, I'm up for that.
They have
Just give me a date.
on the top of the Guinness factory, they have what's called the Sky Bar, and they serve Guinness up there, and you can have a look over the city of Dublin. It's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful.
We gotta.
Yeah, definitely.
We will.
Yeah, definitely.
But with regards to like castles and hauntings in the castles and investigating those, the majority of them are owned by the National Trust now, which means the National Trust won't let you investigate them because they've still got quite a lot of artifacts on the inside of them.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, once they take over a location, that's it. You're not going to get in there again.
We
Don't
still
even open them as a museum or anything?
Yeah, they open them as museums, and the National Trust has hundreds of properties over the UK, and they open to the public, but they open the houses and the grounds during the days only. They won't have paranormal investigations of an evening.
Man.
Yeah, they don't like it.
It's kind of, we have similar problems here for historic sites trying to get into ghost hunt. They'll let you do the tours and things, but they won't let you investigate. Sometimes because of the valuables on the property, and sometimes because you got to get through a historical board. Sometimes people just don't want that type of publicity. We have been lucky to have been able to make some good friends on some of these historical boards to get in to some of these awesome places, but it's kind of touch and go for us over here too.
I know, it's always the places that everyone wants to do as well. So it's like there's so many really, really good places that we'd love to do, but we're just not allowed. And it's like, you're not like you're going to disturb anything. You're not like going to do anything. You're not going to touch anything. You have to be insured to do it in the first place. So,
well, some of the structures over there are so old. We'd be happy just to stand outside of them, like touch the wall and try to communicate with something. Go up to somebody's flat that's like,
you just come around mine, you'll be sorted. It's fine. You get a cooked breakfast as well in the morning. I don't do the cooking, by the way. I don't do the cooking.
Eddie's gonna do the cooking then, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's we were talking about this. I was talking to Rob Thompson from the Ghost Finders a few weeks ago, and he's like, right, yes, yeah, I'm going to come and stay at yours when I come over. He said, if I'm going to have a full English breakfast cooked for me and everything, and I'm going to be looked after you. Yeah, I'm coming over. Give me a date and I'll be there. And I was like, yeah, you're not all moving in with us the week after the festival. You have got to go home at some point.
I'd love to stay longer. I'm trying to, because I'm trying to talk to a friend of mine to see if I can stay longer or not. But I just there's so much over there I want to see. It's like, I just don't want to go over there and then have to go back home. I mean, it's once in a lifetime. So.
Yep.
Yeah. The thing is, I suppose it's like I can't wait to come over there, and I don't even know we're gonna get a chance to do any investigating when we come over or anything, aren't we, Joe? We don't know what the plan is at the moment. So, but I don't want to come over there and just come for a few days and not at least investigate somewhere. I've got to do somewhere.
Yeah. I've done an awful lot of investigating though when I've been over to America, because I came over last Christmas and spent time with a friend of mine down in Detroit. So I went to the Eloise Asylum, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And also went to the Whitney Mansion, also in Detroit, which was beautiful. It was a very, very English looking restaurant, which was unbelievable, and sat in the ghost bar there. But also went to New York in February as well. So ended up going to the Merchant's House in New York City, which was lovely. So it is amazing what you can do when you find places that you really want to investigate.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've been to Eloise. That's a great place. Huge building.
it was so strange because I'd never been there, and Todd, who kindly took me there, I never looked at anything. And as I was walking around, I was putting out names and this, that, and the other. And then we went to the Eloise Historic Village, and Brenda kindly gave me a book. And as I was reading through the book whilst Todd was at work, I was looking through, and there was all these people that I was naming, and I described them and everything. And honestly, it was unbelievable. And I think I had my first frightening moment there, and there was nearly a Joe-sized hole in the wall that time.
We know
But
how.
it was fun. It was one of those places that it will hold so many great memories, because it's just one of those places that's so imposing, and you don't realize until you actually get in there. And when you're walking around, you can hear people still there, and it's fantastic.
I think it's going either getting renovated or tore down or something this year, because we were going to go back again this fall at some point, and then they're like, it's not going to happen. So
No
more.
Yeah, this will be our third or fourth trip to Michigan, Mike, this year. We're going back to the Dearborn Historical Museum. That's also a cool place to investigate.
Mm. I went to the Henry Ford Museum as well.
We tried. We got shut down. Remember, Mike? We tried to go there, and it was closed.
No. You've been some really cool places, though, haven't you, on your travels? Not just, I should imagine you, like, how many do you think you've been to now?
Location?
No, hundreds, because obviously you do it for the shows, but you don't just do the shows. You go out on the weekends as well. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We've been blessed. I'll just say that. I can't even.
I mean, there's some repeats this year for sure. I mean, something we're hitting next month. We're going to be back again in July and all that, but there's 70 different events so far this year with some more.
We've done so many. It's hard to keep count.
Wow, that's crazy. And I thought we had a lot. We've got next to nothing compared to what you guys have got in that case.
Well, it's every weekend, and then some weekends have 3, and some weekends have 4 or 5 even. I think 5 is the most we've done in 1 week.
Yeah, because the last time we spoke to you, Mike, you were going. I can't remember where you were going to now, but you were hitting like 3 locations in one night. The last time we spoke to you, back in October.
Tracy City.
Tracy City, yeah.
Yeah, that's multiple, and then I think we also did 5 nights. That we did Bobby Mackey's and Thomas House and Bobby Mackey's again, and then Tracy City has 3 locations in one night. But it's very cool. We love going to that place.
Yeah, because you couldn't tell us about it. You weren't allowed to because you said there was like some secrets and stuff, so you didn't even know everything. You had some like surprise and stuff.
Actually, yeah, because there was a new location that night that we've never hit before. Brandon was the only one that went there. That museum.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Before. It was the first time I think investigated at all, if I'm not mistaken. And Brandon got to do it. Me and Chris were in the cemetery. The cemetery.
In the cemetery, and it was raining. It was raining. We got quite wet.
It was a drizzle.
I see you've been practicing your English accents as well.
Since I was like 5, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I learned some stuff from Ian. Like the word I said earlier, and some other things. So good things too.
Just watching Ian and, you guys over there across the pond, I think it's hilarious when you get kind of mad and some of the words.
Oh, yeah.
Like just,
well, some of them you can't say, like, literally in the cemetery, but like, what did you say?
Or like Ian, he'll be like, it's bullocks, isn't it?
It was really funny. Like, there's one time, like, he got so mad at someone because, like, he was in the Thomas house and he was trying to get to sleep. And there was someone outside his window revving their engine. And he was like holding his flashlight up to the window doing this to like signal to him to stop. And he darts out the door and he's like, I'm going to give that asshole an earful. And then he takes off. It's the way he said it is so funny.
But like you add a R on the word no. Like if you say, I don't know, I can't say it, but I can hear when you go like, I don't know. Like say I don't know.
I
I don't know.
Well, no, now it sounds normal. Before, like if you're like, I don't know, and it's almost like an R on the end of your drug. Like if you say, I don't know, and you drag out no, there's like an R on the end of it.
She was in the moment, though. She's got to be in the moment. You can't ask her to be on.
But the English accent is very it's very strange, isn't it, for you guys over there? Because everybody says, oh, tally ho, darlings, and they make it so it's like very Mary Poppins, and
then you talk to us, and you've got like common is me.
Now, from your whole area, I mean, all the different areas, you have different accents within your accent, right? So you can tell where somebody's from. Like we can say, oh, you're from New York, or oh, you're from Alabama or something.
Yeah.
And you guys can have the same thing.
And if I spoke Welsh to you wouldn't understand a word of it anyway.
Oh.
I like the THs because it's F in some places over there. It's like, oh, we're so thankful here.
That's the southern accent. So that's the Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah.
Like if you say, I'm going to go with you, like you say whiff.
That's not, It's usually like the young kids as well. They speak more gangster now. They speak more like they rappers.
All you got to do
like
is
what you're saying. Not what are you? And then again, I can't say anything because I talk. You're like, mate, what you saying?
No, all you got to do is watch a Guy Ritchie movie, and then you'll have the Cagney down. You'll have it down pat.
Oh yeah, you'll be sorted. Sorted.
Get up those apples and pears.
Oh my god.
Hey, Mike, are you ready to go? I'm quite sorted.
Quite sorted. Yeah, that's something Ian said.
Okay, just one more time.
Yeah, sorted. That's something.
10 seconds each. That's it. Just 10 seconds each. Because now it's live. Your best American accent, Jolene, first. 10 seconds.
Oh, I can't do it on the spot just like that.
10 seconds. Ready? Come
Hi,
on.
y'all, and welcome to the Festival of the Unexplained.
Oh, you're Irish.
You were a bit Scottish then.
It sounded Northern Irish.
So what happened then?
I noticed that. She went off into the ocean there at the end.
I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do it when it's just like off the cuff like that. It's like, hi, how are you doing? I can't just do it like when you're speaking to somebody. It's so forced, isn't it?
I thought that when you did it when we were on earlier, I thought it was pretty good. The southern one was good.
Oh.
You even had the elbows down.
Y'all going downtown? Let's all have a drink. Now I'm from Alabama and I'm sweet
Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama. Home, Mississippi.
Karen, you're good.
I'm just so crap at the American accent. It's like, they all.
It's not that.
I couldn't say I can't even do the English. Like you do the posh English accent. I can't even do that, let alone American.
Posh English accent.
Just say something.
Yeah, Chris talks all posh when he talks. I've got all common again. He talks all posh, doesn't he?
I'm really looking forward to September and seeing you guys. Say that.
I'm going to practice my American accent for September.
Yeah, I can't just do stuff. I can't.
She's like, I can't and I won't.
I just can't and I won't. I'm not doing it.
I'm waiting for this to shout
English language correctly, let alone American.
Repeat after me. Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Peanut. I can't do it again. I'm forgetting it's actually live on like people are watching this.
It's funny.
When I'm chatting to you guys, I keep forgetting we're actually being watched.
A while ago.
You know what? I think the whole cause of this weekend is raising awareness for mental health, isn't it? And how good is just having a bit of a giggle and a bit of a laugh with friends, and how much does that lift people's spirits?
Absolutely.
Big time.
And I just, it's easy though, isn't it? When you all come together and you're all friends, you've all got the same personality, and you're not afraid of taking the absolute mick out of yourselves. And that's an English phrase as well.
I like the way you mick. I like you. I'm glad you went
taking the Mickey.
Taking the mick.
it's the same way with investigating. We find, we tell people this all the time, and we, in our experience doing it, when you're all doom and gloom and serious and everything, trying to investigate, a lot of times you don't get anything. But then sometimes when you start, forgetting about what you're doing, everybody's kind of having a good time, talking amongst themselves, telling a few jokes, they're having a laugh. That's when, the entity sometimes will come to you and participate, make themselves known, because I think they would rather come and have a good time than to talk about, death and how they died and all these, doom and gloom type things. So I mean, it's the same way in an investigation for us.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the way you should conduct it, though, isn't it? You should incorporate them in your conversations, but also I think you find, especially with the EVPs, you find that you'll pick up an EVP if you're having a conversation, you're chatting, you go back through stuff after, and you're just having a conversation. Like one of our friends, he leaves his recorder on, doesn't he? Like quite often, and we just be chatting away, and you'll get stuff because they're responding and they're actually participating in your conversation because you're ignoring them, and they start talking to you when you're not listening.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it always happens like that, though, as well, because laughter raises the energy vibes, doesn't it, as well? So you know that if you're having a giggle, they're interested. They want to know what you're doing, and they're coming through, they're interacting with you. And even though you possibly don't hear it at the same time, but, you pick that up later, and it's kind of like, damn, I wish I'd listened now. But, you miss those.
Something that kind of made me think about, a big question we've always had, and I think a lot of the people out there have, is like EVPs in other languages. Like, do you get like EVPs in Old English or Middle English? Like, I'm kind of curious about the EVPs you guys get over there. Like,
to be honest with you,
can you tell like it's English?
It depends.
Like
it does depend on where you're investigating, because there's quite a few places here that the old Roman Catholics used to speak Latin. So in the churches and the Roman Catholic churches back in the day, they would have spoke Catholic. But then we have Gaelic as well. We have, Welsh. We have, all denominations. So it depends on where you're investigating and who decides to come through.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Plus, like, obviously, you're saying all the different accents depending where you are and everything as well. So that makes a difference too, because you never know. In trying to decipher, just because they're in that location, as you guys know, it doesn't mean they're from that location. They could have been from down south, but
absolutely. I think we've
caught in the Midlands or whatever.
I'm pretty sure we've caught British accents here in the States before. I know for sure we did before, off the show, before we even started filming. We got I can't remember. I think it was a private location, and it was a residence, and we got "See you later, mate." And it was like in that accent, a very thick kind of British accent. And that was pretty cool. And we all kind of knew it couldn't have been one of us, because it was like, okay, this is a very thick British accent. I know none of us were, having a laugh doing that. But also it's the energy, like you said, and Mike has said this many times at Q&As, that, if it feeds off of your energy, towards the end of the investigation, people start getting tired, and then the energy starts going down, and the activity goes down with it. So if you're happy, you're having a good time, and you're, exuding that good, positive, high energy, then I think that's when the most activity happens. I think we all, the three of us, that's kind of what we've always said.
Yeah. But a lot of the places where you probably investigate would have had some immigration, so people come over from the UK, but also Australia. And a lot of Americans tend to get the Australian accent and the English accent mixed up. So sometimes if you hear, mate, usually it depends, because that was a derivative from an Australian language. So they usually say things like that. It's only recently that the English have kind of adopted that.
Oh, that's I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it depends on what the timeline was, because a lot of the ships that left here to go over to the United States, like my great-great-grandfather had two brothers emigrated. That's why I have family over in Iowa, in Idaho, in Salt Lake City, Chicago, all those places. It's because my two great-great-grandfathers' brothers actually went on those ships and emigrated to America.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
She's a font of knowledge, Arjo.
I wouldn't say a font of knowledge. I'm full of these useless facts every now and again.
Yeah.
Never useless.
Just random things she comes out with sometimes. Like, how do you know that? I don't know. I'm like, okay. Must have picked it up somewhere. I just don't know where I got it from.
I did listen back in school though, but I can't remember listening, to be honest, but I must have done.
I wish I always say this. It's like I've learned more history ghost hunting far more than I have from going to school.
Yeah.
Well, all back then. And I wish I had of, honestly. I'd like to go back and take some history courses, actually.
Well, and the thing about history too is you know, I'm really passionate about learning the true history about things. Because, you know, there's a lot of false history out there, and depending on, you know, what side of the fence you're on, you know, like, you know, I've always heard about Columbus Day being a pretty good day, but actually it was pretty brutal back then, and that's something they don't talk about in the history books a lot of times. So I'm all about learning the real history, you know.
See, that's the shame as well. A lot of places, isn't it? That there is a lot of the issues going out investigating. There's a lot of locations which have got fake history and just random stuff. Someone just made up, and it lands up on a website somewhere or online somewhere. Then obviously it's true, and then it's like Chinese whispers, and then it goes to someone else, and then all of a sudden, yeah, that's the history of that location, but it couldn't be any further.
Yeah,
right.
And it's hard as well, though, because half of the records that you need to access are held by the National Archives as well. So they're not just readily accessible online. You can't just, you know, look them up. Like I've done research all day today, and there's certain things that I'm trying to tie up and corroborate the story, but I can't find anything. And it's kind of like, did that actually happen? Well, it must have done, because there's a fire there. However, I can't find any information on a fire for this building at all.
Yeah, I mean, that was never my department as research. I'm a horrible researcher, so I commend you. If
I never ever research anything. Being a medium, I think, you know, I'm probably at the top of the queue when I say I do not research. I don't like it, because it's the power of suggestion with everything, isn't it? Especially as a medium, everything gets called into question if you're doing research. But you know, I've had to do this because I've been there before and never researched it, but now I'm having to, and it's kind of like looking at it and thinking, actually, yeah, I can see where this has actually come from, but I can't find any information that actually ties it all together and brings that story to a close. And that's what I'm finding difficult, and that's what cheeses me off, because I know for a fact what's happened there, but it's finding that information, the evidence that's trying.
So you said you were a medium. Like, do you actually see the ghosts like we do, or do you see them in your mind, or how does that?
I see people. I also recently I've been having some very, very strange experiences, and it's since I've been locked down, I've kind of done more and more readings, like one-to-one readings. But predominantly, I just used to go out and do all of the ghost hunting events, and not researching the history of buildings, but just going into an event and just saying exactly what I picked up. But recently I've had, and I'm going to sound like an absolute nutcase now.
No.
I was with a group, yeah, a fruitcake. I was in a building, and I was in there with two other girls and a young boy and the owner of the building. And I just remember talking about this little girl, and she was about my knee height, and she was only tiny. She had long brown hair in plaits. And as I was talking, I actually witnessed what I can only describe as the manifestation of a clear liquid just form in the air. And it looked like fish scales. And as it moved, it was like moving with a ripple. And that is the only way I can explain it. And I was like, what the hell? And I watched it, and my friend Claire looked at me, and actually we've interviewed her today, and I watched it, and she just looked at me and she said, what have you just seen? And I went, did you not see that? And she said, no, I didn't. And I was like, are you sure? And she was like, no. But recently, I never really had an answer to it. I knew I'd seen it, and she could tell I'd seen it by my face. but I've had it a few times now where I'm staying at the moment, and it's like it's usually how tall the person is. And what I'm guessing it is kind of a form of ectoplasm that's like steeping and trying to form. It's strange. It's so weird that I can't explain it. You know, like a lava lamp.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like in like the old days when you would see the physical media.
Yeah. It's exactly like that. And it's like a liquid, and it just literally just forms, and then it starts to take a form, but then it just disappears. It's unbelievable.
You know, I'd be interested if I was over there. I'd want to like try like a generator, that generates static electricity or some kind of energy generator to see if that would fully form. Maybe it doesn't have enough energy. It'd be an interesting experiment to try. You know.
Yeah, and I don't think my partner would like that in his house because I have scared him a few times. I've like woken him up and I was like, "What the hell was that?" And he's like, he's like, "What?" And I tell him, and he like looks at me like I'm stupid. And I was like, honestly, I saw it. And then he's got me a couple of times, and he's like, "Oh, what was that?" And I've jumped, and it's kind of like, no,
there wasn't anything there.
No,
but you've had that here, haven't you, Joe? You got woke up in the middle of the night at my house. Got
I woke up to a
lady tapping you, calling your name, leaning over you.
Stood in the kitchen talking to Karen as I'm working away on my laptop, and I heard this, Joe, and I turned round and I was like, "Who's the woman?" And she went, "What?"
I'm like, "What woman? She hasn't shown herself." And then she described, and I was like, "Oh, she's from that location. So she's from a location up the road. So that's fine. Yeah, I know who she is." We've got multiple spirits here, though. We've got child. We've got an older lady. I had the male and female stood next to my bed the other night. Don't know who they are. Didn't bother talking to them because I was like, middle of the night. It's like, go away. Don't talk to me now. I'm going back to sleep. So I didn't even bother to find out who they were, which is really rude. Thinking about it now, they made all that effort, and I was like, nah.
You live across from a cemetery, though, so it's inevitable. It's a little meeting place for everyone.
Yeah, they all come here. It's great. We've had it on a couple of lives. I had a picture sent to me actually the other day of, I knew there was someone was next to me, and I know she was trying to talk to me, but I wasn't doing readings. I was doing something else. And I was like, doing like this. I was like, can't talk to you now. Kind of just go away. Like, not now. And one of our friends, she sent me a picture. She said, "Oh, I've drawn this woman that I saw." So she stood next to you and she had her hand on your shoulder while you were like doing the interview. I was like, "Yeah, I know," but I was kind of ignoring her because obviously I wasn't doing readings. I was just like doing an interview. I said, "But yeah, I'm fully aware she was there." And the time before that, we got a male that's stood over there, which I'm ignoring. And he stands in this. He just stands in this doorway all the time. It's really annoying. And he's been on the live feed as well. One of the interviews I did, and we had someone sent some screenshots saying, "Does your friend know that there's a man stood behind her the entire time she's doing the interview?" I'm like, "Yeah, just ignore him because I do all the time."
Wow.
Do you guys ever take anything home with you?
Yeah, or seen anything at home?
I think probably me more than any of the other two. You know, I'll have things move. I've had a couple of things move in the house from different rooms. Sometimes, you know, I'll leave something somewhere, and I'll come home, and I live alone, so nobody, you know, there's no other explanation other than it moved itself, or you know, something that came home with me moved, and then I've been on the phone with certain people, and they're like, "Who's that? Who's in the background? Who's that lady?" And I'm like, "What lady?" And it's always in this room too. So I don't know. It's always in the office where I get that. But yeah, there's some spooky things that happen sometimes. One night I was watching Netflix on the couch, and something bang on the door, and my front door is right beside the couch, and I jumped up and went to the door. Nobody was there, and I waited another 30 or 40 minutes, and it happened again, and I'm just like, quit it, knock it off. Like,
it sounds like our house. Stop banging, stop knocking. Go away, I'm watching TV.
You're interrupting my holy Netflix time.
It's always when we're watching Netflix.
Have you ever investigated the Lizzie Borden house?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Actually, I stayed there at night by myself and investigated. So,
Yeah.
How was that?
Wow.
surprisingly, not a lot happened except like this was early morning, and apparently they own a cat that can come in and go as she pleases, and I'm in like the living room by myself, and I know no one else is in there with me, and I hear this noise in the kitchen. it's like, is this finally happening? Am I going to have my first like crazy paranormal one-to-one with a ghost? I walk in there, it's the cat that jumped in through the window.
Just the
So-
crazy cat dreams. Eh?
Yeah, but other than that, it was like that was the highlight of the night.
It's for
Mike,
sale.
you still hiding stuff in your garage?
Me?
Garage.
Oh,
Yeah.
The only thing I have out there
Oh, in your garage.
my garage.
Garage.
A doll that we carry around and a Ouija board that's been to a handful of locations, but that's it. I mean, I don't want to bring any. Well, no, I take that back. When we do like our auctions and stuff, yeah, there's enough.
Because you take stuff. That's what I meant. You take stuff home. That you telling us. That's when I spoke to you. You were saying about things that you take home because you do your charity auctions, don't you?
Yeah.
That you do.
Actually, yeah, because I forgot about that. And the last one just went. We had a brick from Moon River Brewery, but like I said, and still, if something happens, I don't want to know. I don't investigate at home. I'm not going to do that.
See, we don't investigate at home. They're just here.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
I definitely don't investigate. I don't want to stir anything up. So, we have kind of an understanding. It's look, but don't touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of with me. It's like if
Go on.
something is here, then I just don't know about it. But
Well, plus, like you guys know as well as we do. I mean, when you're doing an investigation, they're long hours, and we, we'll film for a week, and then sometimes we'll even on the weekend we'll investigate. So when you come home, it's like your sacred place, and you're not you're done. You're done with it. You don't want to mess with it anymore. You want to break.
Yeah.
So, and then you have things knocking on the wall. It's like nope. It's like
See, this is what I mean. People think I'm rude because we've got all these multiple spirits, and they're like, "Oh, that's amazing. Do you investigate?" I'm like, "No, because it's my home. I live here."
yeah, exactly.
So like we just live a lot. Apart from my husband, he builds radios and stuff. So if he's testing them out once he's built one, then like the other week, my name came through on it, and a couple of other things were said, and I was like, "Yeah, it works. You can turn it off now."
Yeah.
I used to investigate my old house. I loved it. I used to hear, because I used to have a basement in my old house, and we extended it. So it was quite a large basement. So it had a separate basement, but then a small snug basement. But my house used to be the old village shop for the whole of the village. So it had like the big stone slab in the bottom. But obviously when we boarded it all out, it was like a proper room. And I used to do quite a lot of treatments down there, like all like semi-permanent makeup and things. But I was sat down there doing my nails one evening. I could hear a woman singing. And I just said to her, "You don't need to stop. I know you're here." I said, "But just don't scare the children, please." And then the next morning, my daughter got up and she said, "Who was the woman who was singing downstairs, Mummy?" And it was like, oh my goodness. And then I later found out that it was the grandmother of a friend of mine who used to own the house long before I owned the house.
Wow.
That's cool.
that's funny though. And when your own kid corroborates what you got.
Oh, she's not like this anymore. She used to be an awful lot when she was around about 4 or 5. She used to say to me, "Who's the little boy who's sat on my rocking horse? Can you tell him to get down? Because that's mine." And she'd say things, and she'd talk about people who were there, and I never like said to her what I did or anything like that. I just supported her and said, just tell him to get down. He'll move, and he knows it's yours. But yeah, she's not like that now. She's she'll sit there and she'll say, "Oh, turn that ghost thing off. I don't want to listen to it." And then she'll say to me, "Can we watch The Exorcist, please, Mum?"
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm like, "We're 14. You're not allowed to do that."
Oh wow. That's that movie still stands true today. Is like my top #1 horror movie of all time. Mike, what did you do with him just when he starts talking to things and telling him to get out of his Mercedes?
Oh dear.
Oh, like, there's somebody there. 7.
I don't like horror movies. Oh.
You saw nothing.
It's really funny today. I had, you're doing that, and I've had a video meeting today, and this person actually said to me, do you use the Ghostbusters theme tune quite a lot? And I just looked at this person and went, no.
We actually met the guy when we went on the Meredith Vieira show a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a Halloween special, and they had us and Michael Myers and that guy that sings the Ghostbusters song.
Really?
Sammy, is he called Sammy Ray Jr. or something?
Something like that.
Oh my god!
But he sang it on the show, and he still got the moves. He still got into it.
Yeah, I just remember Michael Myers, man. He's tall, like he was like about 7 foot, close to it. Like he towered over us in the picture. So.
He was a tall guy.
No, isn't he?
Yeah, he was huge.
But
Everyone's tall to me.
I got that same problem.
Hey, I want to ask you guys. You just reminded me. Like one time, like I was on Wikipedia, and that's of course Wikipedia. That's real trustworthy. But anyway, like I was looking up like some of the tallest people in history, and you guys have someone over there that's supposed. It's not like a real record, but it's kind of like a rumor that he was like over 8 foot tall, or
yeah,
I can't remember his name, but.
There is a disease called Marfan's disease, which is called it's like the giant's disease basically, and it makes them taller than what they actually are, and it's not hereditary or anything like that. It only happens to a certain number of people in however many thousands, and they grow to they thought my friend's daughter had it, and she's about 16, 17, and she is 6'6". She is huge. She is so tall.
Wow.
Then nobody else in the family have had it, but it is. If you look up Marfan's disease, that's basically what it is, and it's a form of giantism, I think it's called.
I told you she knows stuff.
I keep telling you, I'm a font of useless knowledge more than anything.
No, not useless. Yeah, but I can't remember his name, but he was like within 1600s, I think, is the time period he lived in. Like I said, I can't remember his name, but he was like between 9 and 10 foot or something. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. We'll have to have a look at that, Karen. We'll have to see if we can find him.
That's like double my height. That's just not normal. Oh my god. I just about see 5 foot, let alone 9 or 10. That's like 2 of me.
I get a lot of flack for the shortness too, but I'm not even going to say what I usually say. Almost came out of my mouth too, but that maybe when I get there.
So we know you're the shortest one on the team anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's me. Right, guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. And
it's been a scream. I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's been brilliant.
Oh no, this has been awesome, guys. Thanks so much for having us today. I've had a great time. Can't wait to all hang out and have a great time over there across the pond.
If it was quite salted.
Toodle pip.
Toodle pip. Oh, toodle pip. Oh, don't stop.
To get this world wrapped up tight so this way we can make it over, because nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to get over.
Stay indoors. Don't go anywhere.
If we just stay in, all right? Because if you don't stay in, then you can't meet these guys in September. So there you go. What more do you need to stay in for? If it's not for anything else.
We can't wait.
Yeah. Oh, it goes without saying.
No, we like I said, we really appreciate you guys taking part in this event this weekend. And this charity means a lot to Jolene and myself. The reasonings behind why we're doing it. So those of you out there, thank you for joining us. Stay with us, carry on watching for the rest of the weekend. There's so much more to see and so many more people to meet. So over to you, Joe, because I'm rambling.